Week 9 continues today from Sin City, Las Vegas, where the hometown Fury are looking to continue their momentum from their annihilation of Atlanta last time out. Johnny Pickler and the London Knights come a-calling to see if they can't knock the Firebirds off their perch. Live from Silver State Stadium, I'm Tyler Fall. It's a clash of two schools of offensive game planning. The London Knights have been a fireworks factory with their deep passing attacks with receivers Kalia and St. Green. Meanwhile, the Fury have taken a little more of an old school approach, and they are led by the third best rusher in the league, Scott Johnson. Jack Brown is alongside me here for this one, and partner, both teams put up a bunch of points. The Hoover Dam might not be enough to slow these clubs down.
Oh, it will not, Tyler. These two teams, they come flying and expect a smorgasbord of points. Seen from these two ball clubs, London coming in 3-4. They're looking to keep their playoff hopes going in the right direction. Meanwhile, for Vegas, hot off that demolition of Atlanta a few weeks ago, Tyler, they're looking to extend their win streak to 2. Both these teams right at the edge of the playoff picture. They're going to need to win today in order to keep their heads in it.
Two, quote, bubble teams, and kind of like how the selection show will be going on later today for March Madness. We got a little bit of March Madness here in Las Vegas ourselves, and these two teams look to make their statement win in their quest for the playoffs. London will kick it off to get us started. They're in their white tops, red bottoms. Las Vegas in their all blacks. Get ready, folks. Week 9 is about to continue. And here we go. JT Delaney gets us underway. Doug Britton gets his return started from about the 5-yard line. He has a couple of return touchdowns this season. He's only able to make it out to the 28-yard line, and that is where we'll see Joseph Green, the second-year quarterback, take the field for the first time today.
Yes, we will, Tyler. He's been having a little bit of a struggle season so far. Admittedly, Vegas coming in with a bottom 5 in passing yards per game. However, once again, that's not what Vegas's MO is. And look right there, they're in the offset eye, a prime running formation.
They will go with the run to Johnson, and right away the Knights are in the backfield. Loss of 4 to start off the ball game. It's a crunching hit by Selwyn Lane.
And that is what you like to see, just getting into the backfield and wrapping him up and throwing him down. That is a huge loss for Vegas.
Get to offensive starters here in a moment. Second and long, though, on the second play of the ball game. Green's going to go back to throw over the middle. It's deflected, incomplete. Some early laundry on the field. Don't know what the call is, so we'll get the call from R62.
Yeah, couldn't quite tell what had happened there. And it's going to be a DPI on the looks of it.
Very interesting call. They'll tag Jeff Gagne, the 4th season linebacker, with the infraction. And it's a free first down for Las Vegas. Las Vegas, very poor start to the drive. A loss of 4 on that run play, Jack. But they give those yards back and more in a free first down for the Fury.
Yeah, so for London, that is not what you want to see. When this game's going to come down to who can get that 1 or 2 stops, letting up easy first downs this early on is not a good way to look at it.
Green in the gun, Johnson sidecar left. Play action, blitz coming, and they're going to get to Joseph Green for the first time today. They'll send him back 7 yards. William Davidson with the sack.
The London defensive line has come out in full force today, Tyler, already making 2 huge stops in the backfield. You know, London's defensive line among the middle of the pack here in the Simulation Football League. It's great to see them coming out this early.
2 successful English invasions into the Las Vegas backfield. We'll see what Las Vegas can do here on another second and long. This time they connect. Big gain of 16, and yet another flag on second down. Free first down, late hit, tack on some more yards.
Yep, that is going to be a late hit. Tyler, R62, he's very trigger happy. Once the whistle's blown, you gotta not lay a finger on an offensive player in the Simulation Football League, or he will be tagged for a late hit.
Brandon Ewing will tally up the second penalty for London, and we've only hit not even 2 minutes in this ball game, Jack.
Yeah, London's defense right now, it seems to be two things going at once. It's both that high-intensity defensive line play, but just these sloppy penalties to boot.
Being very aggressive, Scott Johnson, his second carry of the ball game this time will net positive for a two, maybe only a 1 yard pickup. And here come the Fury offensive starters. Joseph Green, the quarterback. Scott Johnson, the halfback, with A-star Miramontes. She is at fullback. John Blades, Mason Kirby, and Doug Britton are the wideouts, with Scott Fowle and Jackson Roberts, the two rookie tight ends. Coverage backs off about 8 to 9 yards between the corners and the wide receivers. Floater over the middle, caught. First down to the 33-yard line. That's John Blades with his first reception of the ball game.
Not a bad catch by John Blades. Able to just get into that little bit of room and find his way for a first down. He got 6 receptions last game for 94 yards. So expect a little bit of a decent dose of John Blades this game, Tyler.
Offset single back here on a new set of downs here for Las Vegas. Green, out route, far side, caught, trying to turn the corner, can't. Only a pickup of 8 yards for the receiver, and the London Knights defensive starters are as follows. William Davidson, Selwyn Lane, Chad Rowland, and Cam Crosby are the defensive line. Jeff Gagne, Tony Roberto, Telemac Scarborough are the linebackers. Tanner Hendricks, Brandon Ewing, and Emmanuel Blackman are the corners, with Jack Russell, Rain Rie, and Anthony Wyo at the safety spots. High formation handoff. Johnson will pick up the first down as he runs between the tackles to the 21-yard line.
That's just a quintessential Scott Johnson run. He's much more of a between the tackles, find the hole and just run through it sort of back, as opposed to what you more often see in the SFL, where you see a lot of stuff go up to the outside.
Formation we've seen quite often here on their early possession, as they like to run to the outside of the right. Johnson again gets the call. He'll pick up about 2 as he's taken down by his ankles by Jeff Gagne.
Another decent run, sets it up well, and, Las Vegas now officially in the red zone.
A drive that looked to be like it was going backward and continuing to go in reverse. Fury find themselves in London's red zone. Green looks to throw, stop route 5 yards out, and pushing his way forward for the first down to the 10-yard line is Scott Fowle.
That's one of those times you gotta play through to the whistle. It seemed like the London defender was caught slacking a little bit. He thought the play was over. No, you gotta keep going. The play doesn't stop.
They get turned around by the pass from the sophomore quarterback. Power eye set. 1st and 10 from just outside the 10. Screen pass, near side for Johnson. He breaks out of a tackle, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Fury!
The first of what will probably be many today, Tyler. It was a pretty simple play, a dump off to the halfback, but Scott Johnson able to pick up the blocks needed to charge through and get the score, putting Vegas up 6 early.
Big block on the outside, and then Johnson shouldered his way into the end zone. 6 points on the board. Matt Rage takes the field for the first time today to try and make it a full 7 points for the touchdown. Snap spot. Kick is up, and it is good. 7-0. Las Vegas here at home, and they're on the board first.
That's what you like to see in this sort of game, Tyler, when it's going to be pretty much a score for everybody on every possession. You got to make sure that you're the one who's set the pattern and gets ahead early.
Stats today provided by Justin Reside and Shannon Varner. Thank you, gentlemen, for all you do. That drive was an 11-play, a little bit more than 40-yard drive, maybe about 60 yards. 5 run plays, 5 passing plays all told, resulting in that touchdown by Scott Johnson. Return gets all the way to the 25, and on comes the best passer in terms of statistics, in terms of completions, yards, touchdowns. It's Johnny Pickler.
Yeah, Pickler, he came here to London a few seasons ago. He's brought the team back, and he's brought it with an identity. And really, for London, it's all air raid all the time, and that's what they're going to open it up with.
He led London to their first ever playoff appearance last season. He's in trouble here, and Las Vegas get to the backfield, and Pickler's into the turf.
Johnny Pickler just did not have enough time to get the ball out of his hands, and his defender just wasn't able to stop Sam Yeager from plowing through and laying him down on the turf. Face first, that couldn't have gone worse for London as far as the first play goes.
The rookie out of Salt Lake City picks up his second sack of his career on that outside rush. Oh, it's nearly 2nd and 20, all the way back to their 16. Pickler looks to throw again. It's a diving attempt from one receiver, but it falls into the arms of St. Green, and St. Green's able to pick up about 10 yards.
Yeah, Mike St. Green, he is just one of the many receivers they have here in London. Really, pretty much every receiver here has made themselves into an elite prospect throughout this season just because of the off-the-wall offense London has devised.
Short post route working to perfection. Now it's a 5-wide set. Cornerbacks showing press on the line. Pickler trying to air it out over the far side, and that's deflected away by Merrick Itera. Itera had a few pass deflections in the game against Atlanta and also a pick on plays just like that.
That was a great play from Merrick Itera, one of the premier all-time corners here in the Simulation Football League. Just continuously been able to prove himself. This Las Vegas secondary, it has, as individuals concerned, some of the best secondary members in SFL history.
I kept saying it over on chat in the Atlanta games that we're underrated, we're underrated. I think everyone's taking notice of this Fury defense now as Britton tries to make a return. He ends up going backward. We'll give him forward progress to the 36-yard line. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Green gonna take a deep drop pass over the middle, and they're cross midfield. Down to the 43-yard line goes John Blades.
That was another great throw there. Joseph Green, he's looking like he's doing a better job of being Johnny Pickler than Johnny Pickler is right now. Just these deep balls and just the conviction he has in his throws. He's setting things up well early in the ball game.
Las Vegas looking to continue what they started against Atlanta 2 weeks ago. Last week, of course, they were on their bye week as the coverage for London backs off on this first down. Quick drop. Green is going to dump it over the middle, pick up about 6 yards before he's taken down by Gagne. Pass hauled in by Mason Kirby. Second and 4 now here for Las Vegas. Offset eye toward the near side. Johnson's got the call through the middle, fighting off defenders to the 31-yard line. Another first down here for the Fury.
And already, Tyler, the Fury are pretty much well within scoring position. You know, this is right at the edge of Matt Rage's kicking leg, but he can definitely make it from as far out.
He's only been called on 9 times this season here, Jack. Matt Rage, kicker for Las Vegas. Pass outside is bobbled by Kirby, and it's incomplete. He couldn't haul it in. And back to Matt Rage. The offense has been able to score points when they need to, and they score a bunch of points, more often than not touchdowns, and that's why we see a very low number for the kicker.
Yeah, they're very much like the antithesis of what Louisiana does, Tyler. You know, they're very kicking heavy. Meanwhile, for Las Vegas, they're a little bit more efficient on the touchdown front.
I sense a little bit of disgruntlement after yesterday's ball game there, Jack Brown. Joseph Green back to throw, out route far side. This one's hauled in by Blades, pick up about 6 yards before he's taken down at the 25-yard line. That was going to be Mason Kirby out there on the reception. My apologies as Green trots his men back to the line. 3rd and 4 now, have to get beyond the 21-yard line to convert. 3-3 nickel look here from London. 7-step drop from Green. Green looking near side. Caught! It's picked off! What a grab! Did he get a foot down? What interception! We gotta take a look at this.
Emmanuel Blackman, how high was that jump? I have to see this to believe it. He got the foot down. That's a pick as far as I'm concerned there, Tyler.
If I saw that correctly, he reached over the receiver, picked it up, and still had the wherewithal to get a foot down. Amazing interception by Blackman. London are back on the field with their offense. Pickler, 5-step drop, looking to capitalize on the turnover as he'll find returning to Las Vegas for his first ever game here in Las Vegas, Benji Matson.
Yeah, that was a good first catch from Benji Matson here in Vegas. Able to catch it on the flat and, just keep moving forward just enough to get the first down, moves the chains, and gets London out of the shadow of their goalposts.
1st and 10 here for the Lights. We'll get their offensive starters here in just a moment. Offset eye behind Pickler. Linebacker shift in the direction of the weak side. Pickler back to throw, rolls, fires, and it's incomplete. Try to thread the needle into triple coverage. No dice that time. Pickler is the man under center here for London. Robert Merrill is the halfback with Mike St. Green, Vin Calia, and Fox Highwind the wideouts. Benji Matson, former Fury, returns. The Hall of Famer Tiberius Bovine, he's at the tight end. Anthony Anderson and Perrin Ibarra are leading the men in the trenches at their tackle spots. Pickler on 2nd down is asked to throw again. He's under pressure, tries to find it near side. That was nearly picked up by a zooming Max Jackson, who was shot out of a cannon from his safety spot.
Yeah, Pickler's lucky that wasn't intercepted because as we all know, that would have probably gone the other way, and it would have been an almost too familiar sight for Johnny Pickler.
4th play of the drive here for London. 5 wide receivers set, trips near side. Pickler over the middle into absolutely nothingness, and London's going to be forced to send out the punting unit.
They were looking for it all there, Tyler, and I don't necessarily blame them here. You already need 10 yards. You may as well try and go for even more if you can get it. It wasn't necessarily a horrible throw. There was a receiver back there. It just looked like it was too quickly thrown, didn't have enough time to think, and so it was incomplete.
And give credit to Las Vegas. They've been pressuring quarterbacks left, right, and center here in the midway part of this season. Punt's on its way. Britain's going to call for a fair catch at the 45-yard line, and that is where the Las Vegas offense will take over after throwing a pick last time out that, fortunately for them, doesn't result in any points for London.
Yeah, so still for London, they are blanked nearly at the end of this first quarter, which is not something that is all too typical here. And right now, it's still early, but if you took the under, you better be feeling pretty good.
Still a lot of ball game left to play here, Jack, but so far so good for the over-under provided by Jack Stan. A deep ball, far side, picked up again, and going the other way. Cross midfield to the 49-yard line. It's Blackman again.
And Blackman with back-to-back picks on back-to-back drives. This man probably has a better idea of what Joseph Green's trying to do than what Joseph Green thinks he's trying to do. He just read that like a book.
Stay away from that man's island, as Hacker says. It's Emmanuel Island out there, and he is alone on it. London take over again. This time they'll start in the best field position of the ball game at Las Vegas's 49. Are they able to put some points on the board this time around? Pickler to throw. Over the middle, caught. First down, 33-yard line goes Mike St. Green.
And now London puts themselves in the scoring position for the first time today. They were struggling to get things going, but, There's a lot that can be said about good field position, and London is taking advantage of it.
They seem to be attacking the middle part of the field. They like to run those short post slants and deep posts, and it's been working so far today when they've tried to go for it. 8 men in the box. One corner sneaks into the far side of your picture in the box. Pickler takes a 7-step drop. Looking, tipped, and it mercifully for Johnny Pickler falls incomplete.
Johnny Pickler, he's gambling here in Vegas. Maybe he was spending a little bit too much time last night out on the town, but so far he's been gambling, and it hasn't paid off for him yet, but it hasn't backfired either.
You have to think a little bit of jet lag coming across the pond from London might have something to do with it. To top it all off, you got daylight savings time. Also, that might throw maybe a little bit of a wrinkle into game planning. Power I formation here for London. Swing pass near side for Robert Merrill. He's getting chased down and taken down only after picking up a yard. And quickly, let's introduce you to the Las Vegas Fury defense. Sam Yeager, A.K. Jones, Anthony Stover, the defensive lineman, with Dabson Bugna, John Osiris, Dave Drury, Yakov Zolotov at linebacker. Laquan Smith, Chris Magel, Merrick Itera, the corners with Justin Raside, Nicky Colantrelli, and Max Jackson at safety. Pickler to throw on 3rd and 9. He's got all day. Steps up, now into a little bit of pressure. Decides to run. It's a great decision from Johnny Pickler. 10+ yards for Johnny. It's a first down for London as they keep the drive alive.
When the entire pocket collapses around you and you see a glorious patch of green in front of you, you gotta take it as a quarterback. You don't see quarterback runs often in the SFL, but I will say this, Tyler, you're starting to see them a lot more often, especially from teams that like to do these long decision plays.
Steps up. It's a great catch over the middle for about 6 yards by Bovine. His first catch back here in Las Vegas since leaving the Fury. Darius Bovine got to meet him at the convention last season, and that's going to do it for us here in the first quarter. Fury 7, Knights 0. Second quarter of action on its way. You're watching the SFL. Visit by APM Music on Twitch. Tyler Falk, Jack Brown here in the booth. Glad to have you with us here this Sunday afternoon for some more SFL action. Pickler will throw, looking for the out route to Mike St. Green. It is caught a yard shy, they will say, at the 8-yard line.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't move the chains for him, but it was a decent throw, and it still gets them closer to the goal line. I would almost expect either a really short run, which would be extremely unusual for London, or a shot for the end zone.
Offset eye behind Pickler, 3rd and short. They go with a handoff. Merrill, far side, Las Vegas. Track him down, bring him down the backfield, loss of 3. And London might just have to settle for a field goal.
When you just need a single yards, any second loss, any 10th of a second loss in a handoff, Tyler, it can be brutal for your goals. And as you see there, they lost 3 yards when maybe a simple handoff up the middle to Merrill would have sufficed. And now they're losing 4 points because of it.
Well, points nonetheless, especially in what is looking to be a tight ball game, will help out no matter what. 3 on the board for London. 7-3. Las Vegas in the lead.
Still off to a good start here, Tyler. These two teams, their offenses are firing on all cylinders. We can definitely say that. However, the defenses have stepped up, and I think a little bit more than either of us were expecting this early on.
Blaney will get us going once again. He boots it downfield for Doug Britton to try and make a return. From about the 7-yard line, he spins away from one, and he fumbled the football. And London on the return! This is gonna be a touchdown! Yes! Big touchdown! Over Oh my goodness, number 75! It's the defensive tackle, Lewis Burke, with the touchdown!
Lewis Burke, the big man, rumbles down the field and gets a fat touchdown on the board for London. They get 10 points off 2 plays. What just happened?
Move over, refrigerator! There's an icebox coming downtown! And Delaney is ushered on once again to try and tack home an extra point. Back spot kick is up, and just like that, London have themselves a 3-point lead.
You know, Tyler, after all of the apparent fortunes abound that happened back in Atlanta for Las Vegas, I guess, you know, it only works out that they have to have a little bit of bad luck on special teams as well, you know, just to keep everything balanced.
Just everything balanced, just as it all should be, or something like that. There's a quote somewhere in there. Doug Britton on the return. Maybe he's got some double-sided tape on his gloves this time around as he's able to try and break out a 1, and he's taken down at the 26, keeping both hands on the football this time around.
Yeah, it's one of the first things they teach you when you're playing five-a-side flag football. You got to hold it like a little baby, you know. You got to hold it with both arms and make sure that you don't let go.
The spins, the trucks, the fancy-dancy moves, those come later. Ball security at its finest. Doug Britton maybe had to relearn that one on the last time, but good return there. And Scott Johnson is able to make something happen. 8-yard pickup down to the 34-yard line. Take a look again. Nice little spin move. Gets away from 1 before he's eventually tackled. 2nd and 2 from the 34-yard line. Heavy set here for Las Vegas. Opposite eye behind Joseph Green. 2 tight ends to the left. 8 men in the box here for London. They'll run to the left with Johnson. He gets stood up after a gain of 1 yard and no further. The defense was there, led, I believe, by Tony Roberto there to make the stop.
Not a bad stop. Not a bad stop at all. Just keeps Vegas a little bit honest. You know, they're not automatically going to be getting these first downs. 3rd and 1.
See if they go to Scott Johnson again here on 3rd and short. They will. Near side, gets a couple of blocks and has to fight for it, but does get the first down. Tough running from Scott Johnson, picks up the first.
Keeping the wheels turning is Scott Johnson, just putting everything forward, and he got what he needed. He got the first down.
After a solid opening drive for Vegas, this one looking pretty promising as well. Only the 4th play of the drive so far, but Vegas on the march again. 5-step drop. Green pumps once, looks near side. It's in and out of the hands of Scott Fowle. The hit from the strong safety. Rie probably jarred the ball free.
No, I think that was Tony Roberto on the jarring. No, he was not the one. That's a little bit odd of why they'd focus on him here. But it was still a good deflection. Got the ball out. And so for Las Vegas, the passing game is still kind of touch and go.
Jack Russell, my apologies, in on the hit. 2nd and 10 now here for Vegas. 2 backs in the backfield. 2 wide receivers with a tight end flexed off to the left. Johnson through the middle, nothing doing. Loss of 1 on the play. The defensive line got back there in a hurry, led by Cam Crosby.
Once again, the London defensive line is keeping the Vegas running game in check. You know, while for a little while it kind of was looking like it was just a little bit too little, now that London has the lead, they could be a defining factor in this ball game.
4 wideouts, trips near side here on 3rd and long. Green. Floater tipped, and the receiver wasn't aware the ball was behind him after the deflection. Ball falls incomplete. Las Vegas sent out their punting unit.
I can imagine the coach on the sideline there was probably yelling at Mason Kirby, turn around, the ball is still alive. But he didn't hear him, and so it was an incompletion, and Vegas gonna have to punt this one away.
Justin McCrack, one of the best punters we have seen as of late, takes the field here for Las Vegas. Routinely, we can see him punt maybe 50, 60 yards. This one's no different. All the way back to the 20-yard line. The return starts no further than the 24-yard line. Goes the return man, Fox Highwind, and that is where London take over. .7:35 left to go here in the second quarter. From Silver State Stadium here in Las Vegas, Tyler Falk, Jack Brown here in the booth, Justin Reside, Jan Varner on the stats truck. The Commissioner, Cameron Irvine, is our producer. Thanks for joining us here on this Sunday afternoon. Pickler's in trouble. Down he goes again. Second sack of the ball game, and it's the second sack of the ball game for Sam Yeager.
Sam Yeager now has doubled up his career, tripled up actually, his career sacks in just this one game. And just look at that. He just made the London offensive line look like it was nothing and got into the backfield. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with for a long time in this league, Tyler.
He stunted inside, blasted back outside, got off his block, and took Pickler down. That's an excellent play from the rookie. Pickler looking over the middle. That one's picked off. A jumping, athletic interception from the linebacker, and Las Vegas now take over.
That was Laquan Smith, the corner. He was sitting short, covering the short zone, but jumps right up. He saw where the ball was going for Pickler and didn't let him have it. And now Las Vegas gets the ball right at London's red zone.
Laquan Smith making me feel funny up here in the booth as he slotted into a typical linebacker spot. Just disguising everyone. Confused Pickler, confused me. And now here come the Fury from the 22-yard line. A-Star Miramontes gets the call. That's Scott Johnson. My apologies. 7 yards. And Scott Johnson averaging about 2.5. Added some more to his total here on that previous run for 7.
Hasn't had that really big, crazy run yet, has Scott Johnson. But he's been doing his job. He's doing the job that you love to see out of a running back. Just those little quick things right up the middle, get a few yards, keep the offense on schedule.
Right around 25 yards today. Pass over the middle, caught on the drag route. Will be first and goal after the catch by Blades, and they move the chains inside the 10-yard line.
And now London's got to feel a little bead of sweat coming down their faces here. Being this far backed up, and especially when your offense has only shown that it can put up 3 points. Their touchdown came off of a freak kick-off touchdown.
Deep drop from Green. He's going to look for another drag route. That one is caught at the 5-yard line, no further, as the receiver was immediately corralled at the 5. Second and goal here for Las Vegas. They show a power eye set. They'll run with Johnson, left side. He has the blocks, and he scoots through for another Fury touchdown, and the Fury retake their lead.
They got the whole team celebrating in the end zone here, Tyler, and that one was a team effort touchdown. All 22 members of the Las Vegas Fury were involved in it, from the turnover to start the drive to the spin to end it. What a perfect series of events.
Great drive from Las Vegas, and that's Scott Johnson's second touchdown in these early goings, as we're just at the midway point here of the second quarter. Matt Rage on to attempt the extra point. High snap is corralled by Cole Trickle. Kick is up and good from Rage, and it's 14-10. Las Vegas have the lead. Have you checked out video content produced by our community lately? Catch the Sim Pod every week, SFL Crunch Time and Road to Glory every Wednesday night, SFL Nights with AJ Stryker premieres Thursday nights. Say It With Your Chest airs Fridays, and Netma can be seen all week long at 6 p.m. Eastern. Every week, the live show schedule can be accessed through our Discord server at the top of the channel listing. Just look for the events tab. Highwind on the return, gets to the 26-yard line and no further, and Pickler will retake the field looking to maybe do a little bit of ball security himself. But we've been talking about ball security all day today, Jack. Britton on the return fumbles it, gives it to Lewis Burke for the scamper, the big man touchdown, and Pickler, that's his first interception on the last drive.
Yeah, the turnovers have contributed 14 total points so far to both sides. You know, points off turnovers, they could be a deciding factor in this ball game, and look at that.
Merrill just had to keep going backwards. Roberto was like a hound dog, was relentless in his pursuit of Merrill.
That's one of those times, Tyler, where you as a running back, even if you can tell it's a losing battle, you gotta just go in. You gotta leave the shoulder pads and see what you can get. You never know. You might blow the defender up and get some big yards out of it.
Back to Stover with the big TFL. Pickler looks to throw on second and short, looking near side. Caught Benji Matson will regain the lost yardage back to the original line of scrimmage at the 26. Coverage thought about backing off. Now they creep close to the line here on 3rd and 10. Typical set for London as they go 5 wide on 3rd down. Pickler looking for the corner route. It's deflected and incomplete as Chris Maggle was there to deflect it away, and London go 3 and out.
That's how a lot of these drives have been going for London today, Tyler. I don't know if you've picked up on this. They've had some loss of yards on 1st down. They get right back to where they started, and then just they go for something on 3rd down, and sometimes it works, but most of the time it's not been working. They need to get things going on 1st down. That needs to be the play where you are going all out, because clearly they're losing too much.
One thing they can hold their heads high about in comparison to the last team that Las Vegas played, London has 3 first downs compared to Atlanta, who only had, I believe, only 1 in the first half in that ball game to this point. So London, have a little bit of work to do, of course, and the defense now is going to be called on Jack to try and stop the rushing attack. Last time out, Las Vegas was in their own territory. This time they have a little bit more breathing room on terms of the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and London's special teams have scored more points through this game than Atlanta did all their games, so,
So here we go. Green looking for the out route, has it, and getting out of bounds after a pickup of 9 was John Blades. He's been the story today here. Jack, he's the leading receiver here for Las Vegas as we get closer to this 2-minute warning.
Yeah, he's been doing pretty well so far, Tyler. He's been, he's just a consistently good wide receiver, and that's really how you can characterize this entire Vegas receiving core. Just solid wide receiver.
Now from London's 47, Las Vegas comes out in a goal line set. 8 men in the box to try and counter here for London's defense. Through the tackles goes Scott Johnson, and Johnson gets the first down to the 37 before he's clattered from behind by Telemac Scarborough.
That's a run that Vegas was expecting to go that far. And once the holes were opened up, he's basically going right into that second, possibly even the final layer of the London defense. That could almost be considered a bit of a touchdown-saving tackle.
Especially the kind of runs we've seen Scott Johnson pull off this season. Yeah, Scarborough with a touchdown-saving tackle at that point. Green, low over the middle into quadruple coverage. It'll find its way to the turf as we get an update on the backup cornerback, Barkley St. Green, and just a little bit of cramps. It should return soon.
Yeah, those cramps can hurt, Tyler, but, they aren't debilitating. We should see Barkley St. Green back in soon enough.
Need some potassium. Maybe a banana might help. We'll see. 2nd and 10 here for Las Vegas. 2 wide receivers near side. Johnson sidecar right of Green. Play action, Green to throw. It's picked and going the other way. No one in front of him. He's gonna go, Jack Russell. He's gone, the Terrier. London strike back, and they're back in front.
It looked like he just did that with so little effort. You can almost see just how casual he was about it. Just shoves off the receiver, reaches up, picks it off, and look at that. He just scampers away to the end zone, much like a dog playing fetch, eh?
I would say so. And now we talk about the special teams here, Jack. But now the defense is putting up points on the board. So are we seeing a brand new school of thought? Let your defense and special teams score points, and your offense, try and make something happen. Maybe march down the field for a field goal. Maybe that should work. I mean, Louisiana is marching down the field, kicking field goals and winning games. So anything is possible.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So long as you have an offense that can get the ball down there, you should be good.
Kick is up and good from Delaney as it's now 17-14. London in with the lead. And we'll get going once again. 3:21 left to go here in the second quarter. In a very wild and unconventional football game.
Yeah, it's been a wild game, and there have been a lot of points on the board. Not a whole lot from the offenses, though.
Britton on the return. He'll juke out of one, and he's eventually corralled at the 29-yard line. And Joseph Green takes the field. He's got 3 interceptions on the ball game. Need to start finding a couple of open receivers, try to get some confidence back in the young man.
Yeah, you need to start getting the... I think for Joseph Green, there's going to have a lot of short, flat routes to the outside, relatively safe throws.
Don't abandon the running game. That's been your bread and butter so far this season. Green 5-step drop. Deep ball, near side, swatted away with authority. Emmanuel Blackman looking for interception number 3 on his day. Second and 10 now from the Las Vegas 29. Las Vegas come off in an offset eye with 2 tight ends near side. Green, quick drop out route far side, caught by Blades, pick up a 5 yards to the 34-yard line, and the big third down here as we approach the 2-minute warning now, Jack, and anything is quite open, especially in third and medium.
Yeah, this is kind of this is almost like a good spot to be in with your playbook. Because you have a lot of stuff that can get you 5 yards, and even if you're just looking to bleed some clock off, you got stuff for that. Vegas, let's see what they do.
Green takes a deep drop, looking near side, and Blackman nearly had another one. He takes that one away, swats it to the turf, and London forces the Fury offense to go 3 and out.
That was a bit of a weird throw, Tyler, just throwing it to the outside. If Blackman wasn't so, off kilter, if he wasn't literally flying through the air to trying to deflect the ball, he would have been able to pick that off and probably go scamper in for another 6 points.
You read that deep out route by Doug Britton perfectly, and on comes Dustin McRack for his second punt of the game. Meanwhile, the game going over on SFL YouTube. Tulsa with the lead over Carolina 7-3. McRack gets his punt away. Pressure was coming, but he does get it away. Highwind on the return is, his head nearly, if it wasn't screwed on, Jack, his head probably would have came up. That was a hard hit.
Yeah, here in the Simulation Football League, we let these players play it out. We don't mind if you get a little bit aggressive on the football field, just make sure it's before the final whistle.
After those 2 penalties early in the football game, we haven't seen any more laundry. Hopefully I didn't curse anybody. 5-yard drop here from Pickler. Finds his man near side. That is Kalia, and he picks up the first down and a bunch more to the 44. First and 10 now here for London. 4 wide receiver set, tight end packed in tight on the left-hand side of the formation. Fickler to throw, deep ball, far side, picked off! And Las Vegas take it right back on the 32-yard line. Big-time interception for Las Vegas, and it's Chris Magel coming down with the pick.
And the struggles continue on for Johnny Pickler. He's hovering right at just about 50 yards today when, he's usually at this point in the game on pace for 150, 200 before halftime. We'd be lucky to see him break 100 in this half.
Offset backfield, 2 backs. There's a handoff to Johnson, and the defensive line for London was not having any of it. A little bit of help coming from Tony Roberto.
Yeah, that's the main bread and butter of this London defensive unit.
2-minute warning here in the first half of action. Las Vegas trying to retake the lead. 17-14, London have the advantage. You're watching the SFL live on Twitch. Las Vegas have the ball. Can they tie up or go ahead here before we reach halftime? Johnson on the give, left side, spinning out of a tackle, spins out of yet another tackle, and it's a short pick of about 2 yards, and one of the men he spun out of is still down on the field. That's Tanner Hendricks, and that would be a huge blow to that secondary.
Yeah, that won't be good if Tanner Hendricks can't get up from that play. Let's see what happened to him. Oh, it looks like he was just hit a little bit too hard by Scott Johnson. Yeah.
I think he just got twisted up, maybe an ankle injury, and hopefully it's nothing major. But, as the medics take him under the blue tent, Joseph Green gets his men going here on a 3rd and 7. They'll go with a run on 3rd and medium, and they're going to be well short. Only a pickup of 3 for Johnson, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, plus side for London, they do get the ball back for halftime to try and extend this lead, Tyler. And also, they get a little bit more time, and maybe if Tanner Hendricks is perfectly fine, they'll be able to trot him back out. If not, he's going to be out for the remainder of this ball game.
Hopefully it's just cramps like we saw with St. Green earlier, but all the best warm wishes to Hendricks, and hopefully his speedy recovery can see him return to the action. Rack on to punt on yet another one, and Highwind will start his return for the 21-yard line as he is shouldered to the turf by Itera at the 24-yard line. So as we approach halftime here, Jack, what have you seen from both clubs that impresses you so far?
Well, in quite a strange twist of fate, Tyler, it's been the defenses. The defenses have been the key components for both these sides that keep them in the ballgame so far.
Pass over the middle. Mike St. Green has the first down to the 35-yard line as he's clattered by Max Jackson, and London move the chains under a minute to go.
Nice pickup there from Mike St. Green. London clearly looking to get something on the board for the halftime whistle is blown.
Side note from the commissioner, Kevin Irvine, he just says, this game is wild. That's what we get from the commish. Pass over the middle, caught. Pickup of a 9 this time as London will try it and call a timeout, though that's their first of 3 on the day.
Yeah, first of 3, and that's a good place to use it. You got essentially 3 plays in the bag. And you got enough time as to where, you can fire it downfield a few times and maybe set up for a field goal with the timeouts you still have.
Javier's Bullvine in on the last reception. Opposite eye behind Pickler here on 2nd and short. Pickler looks to throw near side. It is dropped. In and out of the hands of Benji Matson. That's a rare drop from Benji.
Yeah, that is very uncharacteristic for Benji. He's one of the most surefire hands in the league, Tyler. Surprised that one fell out, especially considering it was right in the breadbasket.
couple of passes from both quarterbacks just haven't been, typically caught like we usually see here from both clubs. A lot of these wide receivers have a lot sure hands, but for some reason, it might be daylight savings time, but it's throwing them off. Pass out to the far side on the swing pass is caught and ushered out of bounds at the 46-yard line is Robert Merrill.
Robert Merrill picking up the first down, but Tyler, maybe also London wasn't aware that it was DSD here in the U.S., considering that if I remember correctly, the United Kingdom doesn't have daylight savings time, although I may be incorrect on that.
I believe you are correct this time around, Jack, as Pickler comes out and gun all by himself. Two wide receivers with one flexed off the line to the left as Pickler looks near side, caught with room to run. Crunching hit laid on to Benji Matson, but he picks up the first of the 42, and Pickler will hurry his guys back to the line. Pickler to throw again, steps up over the middle, and it is incomplete, looking for Mike St. Green.
Decent throw, and now they have 7 seconds. I'd expect maybe just a throw downfield, see what you can get, and then another short throw, then they kick a field goal. They have the 2 timeouts, so they can do it within 7 seconds.
Oh, they're going to line up in a Hail Mary formation and try and go for it all instead of maybe just look for a short pass to get them in field goal range. Pickler to throw. Las Vegas send 4. He pumps once, hit as he throws it. It is fired into the turf. Incomplete. Sam Yeager looking for sack number 3. Instead, there's only 3 seconds left on the clock.
Yeager, he's been headhunting today for Johnny Pickler. Maybe Pickler owes him some money. Maybe something happened that we don't know about. But he's out here, and he is acting like he's got something personal with Pickler.
Hail Mary formation once again. It'll be the last play of the half. Las Vegas send 4 again. Pickler hit from behind, and down he goes, and that will be the ball game at halftime. And it's Anthony Stover with the sack, and Pickler has to pick himself up for the 3rd time as we send it to halftime. London with the lead 17-14, and Jack, Las Vegas, they've had the better offense, but the defense and special teams battle has clearly gone the way of London.
Yeah, and that defense and special teams battle has been what has decided this ball game so far, Tyler. Both these teams, we were expecting huge numbers from the offenses, and realistically, Vegas's offense has held up pretty well. This is about an average performance from this Vegas offense, but the London defense has been just so overwhelming at times. They've been able to get those turnovers, and of course, we can't forget the kickoff fumble recovery touchdown that put London in the lead early and is so far the difference maker.
The defensive tackle, Lewis Burke, was in on that return. It's going to be in the top 10 for sure. Don't know how high. And then there was this play. Johnny Pickler decided to use his leg instead of his arm to continue a drive here, Jack.
Yeah, looking a bit like Ron Cochran from a few years ago, just getting a little bit mobile, shimmying and shaking and baking, trying to do what he can, and that was another one of those great plays from London.
It's what adds to the allure of Johnny Pickler, right? Now we know he can run the football, right? As we talk about more and more of this game and talk a little bit more about the second half, London, I think, on defense has to keep doing what they're doing, Jack. The offense needs to find a way to maybe extend this lead because we know Las Vegas can turn up the heat a little bit, especially here at home.
Yeah, Vegas last time against Atlanta, you can talk more about this, Tyler, but it really didn't become as just over the top as it did until that back half of the ball game.
Welcome you back into Silver State Stadium. Tyler Falk, Jack Brown in the booth. Jan Varner and Justin Brasai in the stats truck, making us sound smarter than we actually are. And Cameron Irvine, the SFL commissioner, is our producer. Welcoming you back here for more Week 9 football here in the SFL. Glad you could join us this Sunday afternoon from wherever and whenever you might be watching us. Kicks on its way there from Matt Rage. And Fox Highwind starts to return from about the 5-yard line. We'll try to take it out to the far side. is taken down at the 26, so Johnny Pickler will retake the field for the first time here in the second half.
Yeah, and Johnny Pickler, he experienced some pretty big struggles during the first half. London's defense, they clocked him. They found out how to get to him, and he's throwing picks and sacks instead of touchdowns, which I'm sure is much more what he'd want to be doing.
See how the offense comes out here for their first possession of the second half. Pickler looking over the middle, and Pickler is picked off. First play of the second half, and it's the second pick on the day for Max Jackson.
And, well, if they were looking to establish a little bit more confidence in Johnny Pickler, that's not the way to do it. It's not the way to do it, to throw deep and then get picked off. Plus side for Las Vegas, they now get the ball in their own territory, in plus territory.
So quickly, now come the Las Vegas offense to take the field for their first possession. Maybe it'll last more than a play. Scott Johnson near side, and Scott Johnson, he's going to be close, down to the 11-yard line. He wanted to make that a one-play drive, that time resulting in a touchdown. However, it's all the way down to the 11 instead.
I was kind of holding my breath there, Tyler, for a second, and I was like, are you sure it's not going to be a one-play drive with how Scott Johnson was running to the outside? Just picking up the yardage, and those sorts of outside runs, once they break out past 5 yards, they're going to go for at least 15, maybe even more, possibly even a score. And for Vegas, they're taking control of this second half quickly.
He has the ability to use his wheels and get past defenders and get behind them and score. That time, very good tackle to stop him. Only 2 yards this time around as Roberto takes him down. Second and 9 on the 10-yard line. Have to get inside the 1-yard line to convert. Green over the middle, and that one is picked off. Fourth interception on the day for Joseph Green, and London take over. So it's dueling interceptions to begin the second half.
Well, if you're a quarterback, that's not what you want to be dueling. You want to be dueling touchdowns, not dueling picks. However, the plus side for the Vegas defense is that they got London backed up deep, and London's run game, as is known throughout the league, is not their strong suit, and that's what you're mostly going to be running when you're this far back.
Anthony Wyo comes up with the pick, first on the ball game for the 9-season veteran. Our eye set, and Merrill gets a rare handoff to the far side. Robert Merrill is going to pick up 5 yards before he's eventually taken down, and that's some unfortunate news coming out of the London camp, as Hendricks will not be available for at least this game.
Yeah, fortunately for them, though, the SFL doctors alongside the NHS, they team up and they do some wild things here in the SFL, so he'll be out right back in shape for next week.
Pickler is going to look to throw, corner round, he overthrew his intended target, Bovine, and it brings up third down. Drive started on the 4-yard line, third play of the drive, hopefully not a 3-and-out here for London. 3 wide receivers in a bunch set near side. Pickler, 2-step drop, looking for the comeback route. It's caught, but they're going to go all the way back to the 4 where they started the drive, and they're going to have to punt from deep into their own red zone.
Well, it was certainly a comeback route, just came a little bit too far back, and as per usual, the London drive, they're right back to where they started, and they have to rely on one play to get them a first down, and, well, actually, that's going to be a punt.
Peter McLongfellow is going to have not a whole lot of room to work with, but he does pooch it away for Doug Britton, and he's going to call for a fair catch at the 32-yard line, and Las Vegas retake the field. And after 2 interceptions won by both teams, no points for either offense to try and convert. So a little bit of retooling, rethinking might be in order for both clubs as we approach the postseason.
Yeah, it seems to be that they're going a little bit more slinging than we had initially anticipated, Tyler.
Green's going to look to throw. Hit as he throws. He got his legs taken out from underneath him by Cam Frosby.
Well, fortunately for him, just in the nick of time, he was able to get the ball at least out of his hands. So it just registers as an incompletion.
But 2nd and 10, same spot, 32-yard line. Green will be under center, opposite eye behind him. Another pass here from Joseph Green. He will find his target this time, picking up about 4 yards before Blades had to be corralled and helped back onto the field of play.
Blades, once again, he's still showing his stuff. He's been the leading receiver in this entire game, and really he's been the only receiver that we've been calling the name of on a regular basis.
Currently leads all receivers for both clubs. That includes London, which is something we don't often say, especially with the tenacity that Johnny Pickler has. Shot Johnson through the middle, fighting through defenders and picking up the first down.
Good job there for Scott Johnson, moving the chains, and now Vegas, barring a turnover, which I know is very possible, and in fact probable, they should get some more points on the board and at least tie the game up.
75 yards on the day for Scott Johnson. His rushing tally continues to rise. Be involved in the passing attack now on the swing pass as Johnson tried to spin out of Emmanuel Blackman's tackle, but no, sir, as Emmanuel Blackman has been the story of this defense for London, has a pick 6 and another pick to add on top of that. Check that. Jack Russell has the pick 6. Blackman just has 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of picks thrown today. 8 in total or 7 in total. Offside is going to be the call. Johnson trying to make something happen. He's free to the outside. Scott Johnson. It's a hat trick of rushing touchdowns.
Free play, it doesn't matter. He's going to go in and say, hey, I'll take a free touchdown. How about that? And now Vegas takes a 4-point lead and most likely will be in firm control of this ball game.
Third penalty on the ball game for London. It is Chad Rowland who picks up that one, but the blocking on the run, regardless of the early start for Chad, results in a touchdown for Las Vegas. They're back out in front as Matt Rage looks to make it a 4-point lead.
This so far, Tyler, has been shaping up to be a barn burner of a game. Both these two teams, I mean, really, what's there not to be said that hasn't already been said by the two of us?
I mean, Jack, the last time you and me were in the booth, we called Queen City versus Fort Worth early on this season, and that game went all the way down to the final play where Queen City walked it off. And so, not saying good things come in pairs, but we'll see what happens here with this one. Don't want to maybe hinder any Las Vegas or London progress, but this game could come down to the wire if it's just you and me in the booth.
Yeah, it always seems to be that way, at least.
We'll see what happens as Rage gets us going once again. High wind on the return. Looking through the middle, and he barely was taken down. He almost broke that one free for a big old scamper to the house. Instead, dragged down by his ankles, and London will take over at the 34.
Vegas can consider themselves lucky there that he wasn't able to break out. However, now out comes Johnny Pickler again, looking to still get something going.
Eight in the backs here for Las Vegas as London go into the power I. And Merrill near side, looking for a big old run. Robert Merrill out of a tackle and down to the 32-yard line.
Robert Merrill doing his best Scott Johnson impression on that play. It's not often you see Robert Merrill break out the big runs, but when he does, he can be just as dangerous as anyone else in the Simulation Football League.
Couple that with some excellent blocks downfield. And London get them down to the 32-yard line. Merrill's biggest rush of the day. Pickler alone in the gun, trips to his left. Over the middle into coverage, and I think someone got a hand on it.
Someone might have, because that one looked like it was a little bit too far off. Wasn't quite there for Pickler. However, he still now has to go back into the huddle and try it again.
Pickler will be under center this time as Merrill is offset, alone back in the backfield. Step drop pump ones from Pickler over the middle behind the defense and crossing the 20-yard line into the red zone for the first down is Fox Highwind.
Highwind with a simple break over the middle, gets right in between the linebackers and the safeties. Simple plays, simple as they come, and London, they're knocking on the door. They're within the Vegas red zone.
Has to be one of the best drives of the ball game here for London. Bump coverage to the outside from the corners. Pickler to throw. Tries to get out of pressure. Finds Merrill, and Merrill does well enough to get 3 yards from out of the backfield.
I'm not even sure if Robert Merrill knew he had a defender just smothering his back, but he still got out of it, and he picked up a few yards. Not bad at all.
Pickler goes back to the gun here from the 15-yard line. He'll have trips to his right. All slant pattern over the middle. Caught near the 1. Down to the 1-yard line goes Vin Kalia.
And now London looking to equal things back up, if not possibly take the lead. Continuing just this back and forth seesaw of a game we've been having, Tyler.
Las Vegas. Now we're going to have one of their grandest goal line stands in quite a while. Handoff, left side, no one home. Robert Merrill is there, and London gets the first touchdown in Las Vegas territory in 7 quarters.
And that was also just so... It was just a great trick play almost. Everyone was expecting it to go right up the middle. The blockers all just pinched in, but that time they handed it off to the outside. Robert Merrill puts the Knights in the lead, and they're going to look to tack on one more.
I say first touchdown in 7 quarters, first offensive touchdown in 7 quarters. As on comes JT Delaney to try and tack home the extra point. Snap spot, kick is up, and it is good. 24-21. London have the lead here on the road. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for links to apparel from Sector 6 and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions, plus articles from our content team, including Power Rankings, What We Learned, the Read Option, and Talent Factories feature series. See all the league records, team stats, player leaderboards, the ranking of the next class of SFL talent, and so much more. Simulationfl.net, your home for everything SFL. Britain on the return is taken down at the 28-yard line, and now Jack, this has been, well, we've called it a seesaw battle, a teeter-totter, back and forth, insert analogy here, but Las Vegas now have to get on their horse and try and make something happen themselves.
Yep, and that's the big thing about any seesaw. What goes up one way has to go up the other. And for Las Vegas, they got to keep things rolling forward, and especially on this drive.
I thought that was Newton's law of gravity. Oh, well. Green looks for an out route near side, and kind of like how Newton's first law of gravity is everything must come up, must go down, we must see out routes here in the SFL. It's a trademark.
Yeah, it's one of the many trademarks of this league. You know, there are 3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and out routes on first downs in the SFL.
And if you can execute those out routes, we're not complaining. So Las Vegas pick up 7 yards on that out route down to the 35-yard line as they trot back to the line. Split backfield, heavy set in front of them. Johnson on the give, through the tackles again, and He'll pick up the first down to the 41-yard line. If you're just joining us, a big injury on the London side of the ball. The defense is without Tanner Hendricks after Scott Johnson spun out of a tackle from Hendricks. He left the game with a fractured arm, and so they're down a man on the London defensive backfield as Las Vegas try and make something happen. First and 10 from the 41. Green looks for an out route, and someone got a hand up and knocked it away. It's the defensive end, Chad Rowland, who stuck his mid up there.
Yeah, Chad Rowland, one of the higher ups here in London, being able to get the ball up. You know, they're down one of their members of their coverage unit, so it's time for the defensive line to maybe step up a little bit, you know?
Next man up mentality in London. I formation, offset I formation here for Las Vegas as Green calls an audible. And Green near side, who bounces it toward the inside and is going to get only maybe about a yard and a half for his troubles as Roberto snags another tackle. That's 7 all told on the day for Tony as his day continues. Quick drop. Green looks for the first down. He will get it to Mason Kirby, who does cross the line to gain and to pick up the first.
Yeah, just keeping the wheels turning, just kept the ball on the right side. You know, that's a very crucial thing when you're on like those fine, thin hair plays. You got to make sure the ball's on the right side of the line in order to pick up the first down. And those plays, it can all come down to which hand you're holding the ball in.
Split backfield, 3 wideouts here for Las Vegas. Green looking over the middle. That is caught down to the 34-yard line, and Las Vegas are continuing to find routes that equal to success, and Doug Britton picks up reception number 1, or make that number 2 today.
Britton keeping the chains moving. It's what you like to see if you're a Vegas fan.
Goal line set now here for Las Vegas. Last time they ran a run with this formation, resulting in a little over 10 yards. They will pass instead. Johnson near side on the catch, spins out of a tackle, and no matter what kind of play it seems to run out of the goal line set, they're picking up 10 plus yards.
That doesn't bode well once they get close to the actual goal line if you're London looking at those sorts of plays. And for Vegas, the ball keeps moving and they keep picking up first downs.
Johnson's been heavily involved today. Over 100 yards on the ground, close to 30 yards through the passing attack with that 11-yard pickup on the last play. Offset eye behind Green, 2 wide receivers off to Joseph's right. Hand off Johnson through the middle. He is taken down after a pickup of 2 yards as the running game, you know, it seems a little bit disconcerting at the same time because we see all these short runs, Jack, but they've all been adding up to a big day for Scott Johnson.
Yeah, it's the little things, you know, you pick up little bits and bobs here and there. So long as you get the points on the board, really, it doesn't matter how you get there.
All slants pattern is picked off, going the other way. Interception number 5 on the game for this London Knights defense, and coming up with a big sack is big interception, is Rain Rie.
That one was a huge pick for London as it's now going to go the other way as things keep moving.
London had a solid drive last time out. They can capitalize again. This defense might be able to put them away. Or at least have them in control of this football game at least. First play of the drive will be a run for Merrill, and Merrill can't get any traction as he's taken down about a yard behind the line of scrimmage as Las Vegas got in the backfield in a hurry. They drew with the tackle. Just about a minute and a half to go here in this third quarter. 2nd and 11 here for London. Pickler Passes over the middle. That is caught by a one-handed Mike St. Green for a pickup of about 5 yards.
Looks like they're only gonna, it looks like they're only gonna give him that many yards there, Tyler, as London not on a good start to a drive, not looking like they're gonna capitalize much on the interception.
It's 3rd and 6 now here for the Knights. 4 wide receivers, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Pickler pumps once, looking over the middle, and he gives it right back to Las Vegas. 9 interceptions all in total for both clubs, and Drury gets an interception.
It seems to be at this rate, Tyler, that we're seeing about as many passes go to the wrong team as they are going to the right team. You know, if we were going off of opposite day, this would be considered quite a successful day for these quarterbacks.
I think the quarterbacks just want to get everybody involved, whether it be their own receivers or the defensive players. We'll see. Green's going to pump once. He'll look near side. That is a spectacular catch by Blades on the sideline. 1st down to the 17. Take a look again. Green fooled the safeties in the middle, floated out near side, and yeah, he definitely got at least 1 foot down on the sideline. Only need 1 here in the SFL, and it moves the chains. Under a minute to go now here in the 3rd quarter. Blades will be off to the right alongside Mason Kirby here for this 1st down play. Green looking for it all, and he's got it! Touchdown, Fury! And it's Kirby who sucks that one in for a touchdown!
The second that I saw Mason Kirby get open to the top of the screen, Tyler, I knew it was game over. There's no way that London just let him that wide open in the back of the end zone, and so it goes right to the breadbasket. That is a score tack on 6 for the Vegas Fury.
And how crucial is it that it's Brandon Ewing who's having to cover for Tanner Hendricks and play one-on-one versus the number 1 wide receiver? That play might not have happened if Hendricks was in the ball game. So Las Vegas take the lead 27-24, Rage to make it 28. Snap spot, kick is up, and it is good. 28-24 your score here in Sin City, Las Vegas in the lead.
And Vegas, you know, with all these turnovers that have been going on with both teams, it's a bit infrequent that we've been seeing those turnovers turn into points. And for Vegas, they put some on the board as a result of a turnover, and they take the lead right back.
Very quick 2-play drive with 2 passes in all told. 1 to Kirby, 1 to Blades, resulting in 6 points. As Highwind took a little bit longer to get down. Looked like he was sitting in a chair for just a moment, but does go down at the 27-yard line, and on comes Johnny Pickler. Last drive, of course, or last couple drives for London since the second half has been interception, punt, touchdown, interception. So if there's a pattern to be made here, maybe there's a punt coming, or maybe they go backwards and go back to a touchdown. We'll have to find out. Pickler, quick drop. Scanning the field, finds Mike St. Green, and St. Green's going to get the 1st down. Late flag. This might be roughing the passer.
That's the most likely one I could think of, Tyler. And that's what it is.
We'll tack on a few more yards as they're going to tag Anthony Stover with the flag, as we'll take another look at him. Looks like he maybe just got a little bit too aggressive. Already has a sack today.
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame this Vegas defensive line. They're wanting to smother Johnny Pickler. They're wanting to make his life as poor as possible. But you can't get too rough with them. You got to make sure that they still have the ball in the hands before you try and lay him out.
So that'll put London on the other side of midfield to Las Vegas' 48. Merrill with the call near side. He can't get past the defenders as he's taken down at the line of scrimmage by Megal. And that is going to bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter. So chat, get your 4s and 86s up in chat. You're watching the SFL presented by 8 p.m. Music live here on Twitch, as we want to remind you that 8 p.m. Music is the official music provider of the Simulation Football League. 8 p.m. Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit 8pmmusic.com. Pickler to throw, looking over the middle, and Mike St. Green hauled that one in, and over-the-shoulder catch will move the chains to the 33-yard line.
Mike St. Green, he is looking to personally carry this offense on his back with this current drive. It's been treating him pretty well, to say the least.
Offset eye behind Johnny Pickler here on this first down. 5-step drop from Pickler, looking far side, out route caught by St. Green. St. Green been involved in back-to-back plays, and both those plays have resulted in first downs. Now London just outside the red zone from the 22-yard line. Two wide receivers near side. Pickler changing up the play under center. He's going to fire. Oh, that was nearly picked off, intended for Tiberius Bovine. Nothing doing, says the defender, and it's second down.
That one did look a little bit too risky for my liking, Tyler, but it wasn't. At least it ended up on the floor. At least it was incomplete. Johnny Pickler can pick his head up and keep going forward.
Now the defender's going to show press coverage on the line. Pickler all alone in the gun. Oh, snap. Pickler fires over the middle. Pickup of about 8 yards on the play to Bovine. They finally connect after the last play was deflected, intended for Bovine. And it's third and short as we take a closer look at Johnny Pickler's numbers.
Yeah, and as you can see, Tyler, they haven't been that great so far in this game. However, maybe he can work up something, dig deep, and find something in this fourth quarter.
Pickler to throw, near side. Robert Merrill turns upfield, looking for the corner, and he's taken down at the 4-yard line. And we want to remind you, Jack, that Bryant Dynasty had 4 interceptions, and I believe it was against Sioux Falls. But he led a late fourth quarter drive late in that football game, and he did throw a touchdown that would win the football game. I believe it was a swing pass to BDG Hollywood. So don't count out Johnny Pickler just yet, because he can make some plays.
Yeah, I know, Tyler. I know all about that game. I was the one on play-by-play for that one.
I remember that.
Those late game comebacks are something.
As Merrill can't find any running room, taken down behind the line. Sam Yeager and company bring him down. And what is it with us, Jack, and close games? We always seem to get games that are just everyone's on the edge of their seat. Not just the fans, the players, but us as well.
I don't know, Tyler. Maybe this is something that we need to put a word in with Mike about to put us on more offense. That's going to be flag on the play.
As the fullback, Royal Wellman, gets involved, we'll get the call from RCD2. Offensive holding the call. It's the left guard, Luke Dvorak, with the infraction. That'll push him back to about, it looks like, the 17-yard line. So a big loss of 10. And it's second and goal. Pickler looks over the middle. It's St. Green. No, check that. Bovine or gets the catch at the 5-yard line. And I'm wrong again. It's Fox Highwind.
Third time's the charm. Sometimes the game has to help us out here in the booth a little bit. But still, that was a great throw right into coverage. Thread the needle, put it right where it needs to be, and London right back where they started again. Third and goal.
Pickler, he's going to get the pass away to Merrill. Merrill to the end zone. Touchdown! London Knights, and it's the 7th lead change in the ball game.
Holy mama there, Tyler. You know, I was watching some indoor football last night. I saw a pass like that where it was an underhand hit as you throw. You yeet it up there. That ended as a pick. This one ends as a touchdown, and London takes the lead right back. But much like in indoor football, Tyler, a lead is never safe in this game.
No matter how big or how small, you have to play for the entirety of every single 44 minutes. JT Delaney on attack home the extra point. Snap spot, kick is up, and it is good. It's a 3-point lead now for London. The SFL continues spotlighting games in their own time slot tomorrow night on SFL Twitch when St. Louis faces Florida. This week's special feature, live mics all night from both teams' coaching staffs as they talk about the matchup and the game unfolding in front of them. Visit simulationfl.net for complete Monday night special schedule and details. Doug Britton on the return from about his 6-yard line. He's hit at the 26-yard line, and that is where he'll be stopped. And on come the Fury offense once again. Down by 3, 7:55 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Joseph Green will start this drive under center with 2 backs in the backfield. Quick drop, looking for a go route over the middle. It is caught near the 40-yard line. And it's a big pickup of about 16 yards for the fullback, A-Star Miramontes.
You know, the fullback, people don't talk about the fullback as much as they should here in the Simulation Football League. A lot of teams are picking him up. They're getting a lot more use in the offense. And, you know, they can even play a good role in the passing game. You know, never count them out. Never count them out.
2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Green under center. Deep drop from Joseph Green under pressure. He now has a little bit more time, not a whole lot, and decides to eventually chuck it outside the markers. Incomplete, 2nd down.
Yeah, I guess that's not a terrible decision because it didn't look like he had that much of a lane upfield to maybe like attack and maybe go rush. So while it was a little bit borderline with maybe an intentional grounding, that wasn't a bad throw.
So what you're saying is he couldn't duplicate what Johnny Pickler did earlier in the ballgame, is what you're saying.
I like to think that every situation is original, Tyler.
There we go. We'll maybe see Green run a little bit longer, but he throws interception number 6 this time around. The London defense has been feasting, and finally it's a hat trick for Emmanuel Blackman, his 3rd interception on today.
Emmanuel Blackman, once again, just reaching up. That's been kind of his MO during this whole ball game, Tyler. He's been able to get that height advantage over the Vegas receivers, and so Johnny Pickler looks to hopefully get a 2-possession lead, which I think would be the first time this entire ball game any team has had a 2-possession lead.
Pickler to throw here on 1st down. It'll be Robert Merrill on a swing pass, who makes a man look silly, diving like Superman, and he'll pick up the 1st down. Take a look again. Merrill just makes things happen left, right, and center. He's been doing that all game today, and he's been more often than not, Jack, called in on the passing game. Again, a former wide receiver turned halfback. Called again here in the passing attack. This time he can't get farther than the original line of scrimmage. No gain on the play as Merrick Itera is there to greet him.
Yeah, he was a receiver for the longest time, actually, right in Florida with the Storm. And so he decided, why would I be here when it's rainy, when it's a hurricane? Why not trade that in for when it's rainy just all the time?
And it'll be offsides, free play. Merrill on the swing pass. He'll get about 9 yards. They'll probably take the yardage in regards to the penalty.
Yeah, this is real hair. It's real splitting hair.
They will decline the penalty. Offsides for the Fury was Anthony Stover. His second offsides, or second penalty, I should say, on the ball game, as Merrill finds 9 yards. Third and short now here for London. From Las Vegas's 43. Hand off Merrill near side. Can he get a block? No. Taken down a yard shy of the line of scrimmage. Out comes the punting unit for London. And so what you were talking about there earlier, Jack, maybe possibly getting a 2-score advantage, might just fly out the window at this point.
Nope. I don't think any of these teams are looking to get a 2-score. Nope, they're staying out on the field. They might snap this.
Hold on now. London's offense remains on the field from the 44-yard line. Major decision here late on in this ball game. He's already made Stover jump once on the drive. This time, he's going to call a timeout, which will take a little bit more time off the clock. It stops at 5:24. London used their first timeout of the half.
I will say that is a bit of a head scratcher, Tyler. This game is so close. This game is pretty much neck and neck. But they decide to burn a timeout. I honestly think it would have been better for London had they snapped the football, because unless it's a turnover, you're not even giving Vegas that good a field position.
We'll see if McLongfellow can pin Las Vegas deep in their own territory. Punt is away. It's going to bounce at the 10. It'll take a London bounce, and that's an excellent punt from McLongfellow as London downs it at Las Vegas' 3-yard line.
And now, Tyler, these next few plays are going to be huge, because if London can get a safety, if they can tackle Vegas in their own end zone, that makes this game, instead of a field goal advantage to London, that Vegas, should they get the ball back, they're going to need a touchdown if London gets a safety.
Getting into the nitty-gritty now here in this ball game. Johnson on the give, near side, gets out of a tackle, and he dropped the ball! That's the second fumble of the ball game for Las Vegas, and London recover at the Las Vegas 11.
Oh, that is a huge momentum swing in this game, Tyler. One of the few times that I think we can say that it is firmly in London's court now, as they, with any score really, are just going to put this game much further out of reach than it was just a few seconds ago.
My, oh my, just over 5 minutes to go. London are already in the red zone. Linebackers show blitz for Las Vegas. Pickler's gonna throw. Into the end zone. It's tipped, and it falls incomplete. The defenders just looked at it as it floated to the turf.
That was another I don't disagree with it inherently. It's 1st and 10. You may as well try. You already have the lead. And even if they get the pick, they just bring it out to the 20. So you're already playing on house money. So you may as well do what you can.
Outside corners back off a little bit. Pickler looking over the middle. Caught to the 2-yard line. Goes Bovine.
I would expect just a run up the middle here from London. You know, because even if you don't get the touchdown, more likely than not, you get a little bit of a push, a little bit of push. You get a first down at least.
Goal line defense versus power eye offense. Pickler will look to throw. Looking for Merrill on the outside. He's denied a scoring opportunity. Loss of 3 on the play. And it's Dane Drury with the crucial tackle. And it's the field goal unit who takes the field for the Knights.
Well, at least for London, barring something crazy, they're going to be able to take in a touchdown advantage, or at least they're going to need Vegas to score a touchdown if Vegas wants to retake the lead in this ball game.
Delaney, this one should be just a chip shot, about 21, 22 yards out from the right hash. Snap spot, kick is up, and it is good from officially 21 yards. London take their longest lead of the ball game. It's a 6-point lead, 34-28.
Yeah, second largest lead by any ball club today, Tyler, as a matter of fact. But that largest lead was 7 points and came during the first quarter. Just shows how wild of a ball game we've been having.
That was held on to by Las Vegas for just a little bit, and we've been tight ever since. Britton on the return. Tries to cut inside, gets out of a tackle, and will fall forward to the 31-yard line, one of his best returns on the ball game. Coverage of the Simulation Football League continues next Saturday on Next Level Sports on March 19th. In a battle between the last two champions, Denver gets its shot to humble defending champ Baltimore before Atlanta and St. Louis try to turn their seasons around with a critical East Division battle. Bonus coverage includes Charleston, Carolina, and two teams on the rise, Jacksonville versus Tulsa. Coverage starts at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Visit NLSE.com to find Next Level Sports in your neck of the woods. And what a catch from A-Star Miramontes to the midfield.
A fullback going with a diving catch? I mean, hey, this game's pretty much seen it all, Tyler. I'm not ruling it out, and that is how it... And that's what happens there. Gets it to midfield, and the clock is still moving. 3.5 minutes to go in the ball game.
A-Star is A-Star. She has made 2 big-time catches in the ball game and just adds to her total. Now she'll try and block for Scott Johnson, who shimmy shakes away from a tackler that is taken down inside London territory at the 48.
I was going to say boo for that bad pun there, Tyler, but unfortunately for Las Vegas there, it only gains a few yards, 2nd and 8.
Johnson on the give again. This time he is met almost immediately in the backfield. 3rd and 9. Las Vegas hurry up to the line of scrimmage. Quick pass over the middle, well short of by about 4 yards. And it's Kirby with the reception, and it's decision time here with under 3 to go.
Yeah, they still have all 3 timeouts, so they're going to go for it. Well, that's the debate settled.
Offense takes the field. 3 wide receivers, 2 backs in the backfield. Green takes a 7-step drop. Deep ball over the middle. Caught. They convert on 4th, and they're in the red zone. Mason Kirby with the catch.
Mason Kirby with a clutch play on offense. Vegas knew that the odds were in their favor. You know, they're all too familiar with the gambling lifestyle, so they're going to go deep. They're going to go for the jackpot. That time they get it. They're in the red zone. And that'll most likely also bring us to the 2-minute warning.
And indeed it will. An explosive conclusion is on its way here in Las Vegas. They're down by 6 to London. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Simulation Football League live on Twitch. Tyler Falk, Jack Brown here in the booth with Justin Reside and Shan Varner on stats. Cameron Irvine, the SFL commissioner, is our producer. Green looking for the out route far side. It is caught, they'll say, for a pickup of 7 yards. And because it's within 2 minutes, all plays have to be reviewed by the booth. And so RCD2 will pop under the hood, and Jack, so will we.
Yep, so let's see what they're looking at here. Was he in bounds? You only need 1 foot here in the Simulation Football League. He got the foot down. I think they're going to rule that he got that foot in bounds.
RCD2 with the call. And after the review from upstairs, it goes as follows. It's a catch. Good catch on the sideline, and it'll be a 7-yard pickup. from the 7-yard line here for the Fury. Trying to tie up and possibly go ahead. Johnson with the give through the middle. He'll fight off 2 defenders. He's only able to pick up a yard as he was met by Jeff Gagne and Jack Russell.
And so things are still, it's all coming to a head here, Tyler. 2 yards they need. Can they get it? Or will they try for the end zone here?
Both teams rushed back to the line. Green looks to throw. Not trying to force anything. Finds Johnson left side. Marked just a half a yard shy of the line to gain. Though he was pushed out. Clock stops here on this colossal 4th down upcoming.
This could be the play that decides the ball game, Tyler. They are right there. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Do they go for the end zone, try and go for it all, or are they going to just play it safe and get the single yard? They're in the I form, so it could mean anything.
I hear some boos from the Las Vegas faithful, but I think they should be cheering. They're going for it. Scott Johnson through the middle. He's denied! A mega tackle that denies him. Tony Roberto has been all over the field. His 11th tackle might just be the best.
That was huge. There was a hole that opened up. Scott Johnson was aiming for it, but the awareness of the linebacker, he came crashing in. And so for London, 1 first down will put an end to the ball game.
Las Vegas still have all 3 timeouts. Offset eye, and it's another offsides call. Merrill out of a tackle. Robert Merrill near side to the 30-yard line. Robert Merrill, who is not necessarily known for his rush ability, is going to put the pressure on Las Vegas. However, the clock will stop because of the penalty.
Yeah, and there's 2 penalties on the play. It looked like there was a face mask on top of it. And it's offsetting!
Offsetting penalties. The play has to go back. And so a crucial run is denied, and we do it all again.
Let's take it from the top, boys. But hey, this game, I'd be glad to take it from the top all over again. Heavy set for the Knights.
Strong side in the direction of the near sideline. Here in the power eye. Merrill, near side, has a blocker, and they're not going to deny him this time. First down, London, and here comes the timeout train.
And all the worse for Las Vegas. The time now is under a minute, so even with the timeouts, they're probably not going to get the ball back. I think this is game over, Tyler, just about.
We'll see if Las Vegas can hold them here. They are going to have to get a 3-and-out here on this next set of downs. And London are just going to go ahead and kneel this one out. There's the second timeout. If I'm doing my math correctly, and I'm not too good at math, truth be told, in some forums, but I think Las Vegas are going to have, they're going to be able to return it. If I do my math correctly.
Yeah, they'll have enough time to return it, and maybe if they're lucky, they have enough time for one play, which, well, that doesn't exactly bode well for London.
Doug Britton has had a couple of return touchdowns, both punts and kickoff returns. He had a couple versus Atlanta 2 weeks ago, and so the special teams and defense, which were the stars of the show in the first half, are going to be called on to close out this football game. They had that crucial 4th down stop. Now they're going to be called on once more. Final kneel down here from Johnny Pickler. And the clock will be left to run. The punting unit will have to come on and make a play.
Yep, and looks like there's going to be maybe like 8 or 9 seconds left on the clock come snap time. You know, you add the hang time. It's going to be cutting close. It's going to be cutting close if this punt return is going to be the final play of the game or if we're going to get one final snap.
Peter McLongfellow, the punter. Doug Britton is the return man. About 11-10 seconds left in the clock when the ball was snapped. Britton on the return. He's going to be taken down at the 45-yard line. 2 seconds left. Las Vegas have to go for it all.
One play, you got to dig deep. And for Las Vegas, a lot of those deep balls they've been trying, well, they've ended up in picks so far.
Las Vegas would go above 500 for the first time since week 3. London would get back to 500 with a win. Joseph Green alone in the gun, Hail Mary formation. Las Vegas blitz on the outside. Green under pressure. He's going to lob it to the end zone. It is tipped and incomplete. London come on the road, cross the pond, and take the victory 34-28. A spectacular end to this football game.
It was a nail-biter from start to finish, Tyler. We never knew who was going to win the game until that last play. And look at what made the difference. Just double the turnovers from Vegas compared to London.
2 fumbles, 6 interceptions. Ball security was on the back burner, it had to be said. 4 turnovers all told for Johnny Pickler, but they still come away with a win. Jack, it's another game where a quarterback has 4 interceptions, but has a touchdown to win the football game.
Oh man, you're causing you to do deja vu. Are you sure I'm not the one who's supposed to be on the play-by-play, Tyler? Jeez.
Well, maybe we switch it up next time. How about that? Scott Johnson had a solid day, it had to be said, in all facets. Close to 30 yards in the passing attack for the halfback and over 100 yards on the ground. He was stellar, but again, the defense was phenomenal for London. That's not something we often say this season. The defense played lights out, forced those turnovers. The special teams, well, it has to be said, Lewis Burke with a kick-off, fumble recovery, touchdown. The big man gets involved. Everyone gets involved here today, and London finds a way to win.
Yeah, that one was a perfect all-around game from the Knights. No other way to put it. They're looking dangerous. They're one of the hotter teams sitting at 4-4, Tyler.
So London go to 4-4. Las Vegas go to 3-5. As we close out, Jack, both teams are about 4 games away from the end of their regular season. Las Vegas may be on the back foot now with 5 losses. London are right back in the driver's seat. They possibly control their own destiny at this point in a very tight and tough North Division with Baltimore and DC there. With them going back to 4-4, how does that division shape out for the Knights?
Oh, it's gonna play well for them. Obviously, Baltimore isn't showing any signs of slowing down. Neither is DC. So clearly, London's gonna need to get those wins and hope that there's some faltering up the stretch. And maybe that we can get something big. The North Division, Tyler, it's built different.
It is definitely built different. If I had to give a player of the game award to anybody, I personally would give it to Tony Roberto because he had 11 tackles, but probably the most important tackle of the day was that 4th down stop right near the goal line. Jack, real quick, who's your player of the game?
The guy they put on the screen, Robert Merrill.
There we go, Robert Merrill. 40 yards, a touchdown, 1 receiving touchdown and close to 40 yards through the air as well. For Jack Brown, Shan Varner, Justin Reside, and the Commissioner Cameron Irvine, I've been Tyler Falk. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Until then, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen.